On today's episode of Unbinged, we're breaking down the Alien Earth finale, episode 8, The Real Monsters. There's a lot of loose ends from this finale. What can we expect going into a potential season 2? It's time to channel your extreme ADHD because an all-new episode of Unbinged starts now. Welcome into Unbinged, the podcast where we break down the shows and movies you love to binge. I'm your host, Alfredo Brown. Joined as always, I got Jagger May, Samantha Holt with me. Guys, we've got a lot to talk about. There's so many loose ends from this finale, particularly with Marcie, the Lost Boys, what they're going to be doing on this island. But before we get into that, let's get the spoiler warning.
This is your official spoiler warning. We are going to be breaking down the season finale of Alien Earth. So if you have not watched that, pause, go watch that, and come back and join us because we're going to spoil every single part of it.
So this episode ends with Marcie saying, quote, "Now we rule." We got to figure out what the hell that means. We're going to be speculating on that until we get a new season of this show. And I think there's so many other questions. But first, let's start with that. Sam, when Marcie says, "Now we rule," what does she mean?
Well, I think now she's fully embraced Wendy, so I will be calling her Wendy the rest of the episode. But for myself, I think that now we rule means we are no longer the experiment that you guys have been playing with and toying with this entire time. We are going to be the ones calling the shots, and you guys are now the one that's in a cage. Circling back to the very first episode where we do see little girl Marcie before she becomes Wendy looking at the scorpion in the cage and feeling like becoming the experiment, and now they're the ones in control of what's going on, or at least their illusion of control has now fallen to them.
That's good, Sam. I love the scorpion thing because that just reminds me of the analogy of the scorpion and the toad. That's just her nature now, is like she stings, stuff like that. And I do think in theory this is cool, but she is still a child and has like this childlike idea of what ruling is. Let's put it this way: even if it was a spot where she could rule the entire earth, that she just cut the head off a king, as we've seen with any form of media ever, she's going to have lots and lots of problems. And I think that's what season 2 entails, because right now she basically has robots, some aliens, and like 2.5 humans. So
2.5.
So what I'm curious about here is, Sam, I know you said she's embracing Wendy more. She actually has a line here where she says, "I'm not Marcie. I'm not Wendy."
Marty.
She's like, I'm not a kid. I'm not an adult. What am I?" I think that she hasn't embraced anything. I think that she is, she's embracing figuring out the extent of her powers. And I think we saw that in this, where she is like, I mean, the way she was able to stop a synth by just simply saying stop. This is more than being able to control cameras, TVs, locks. This is being able to control everything around her. Now she can control an organic organism like the Xenomorph. She can control synths. I think there's so much more to it, where I think Marcie is just tired of being told what to do and tired of being told what she is. And a lot of this is going to be a self-exploration of what exactly Marcie slash Wendy slash whatever she wants to go by actually is going forward. Like, I still hold on to the theory, what happened to Earth to make it that much shittier from where it is here to where it is in Alien 2, to where it is in Alien, to where we see it in Alien Romulus, right? There's a lot going on that I think, what if Marcie is the key to all of that? Like, what if she is a big problem in the tech field going forward?
I think that's a really fair argument in terms of like, how does it all continue to deteriorate after this? Because it is like a rise of power. And I feel like we've been all kind of going against the humans all season long in terms of who we've been rallying behind, and none of us have really felt any connection to the humans or the human characters in this season, at least. So if anything, trying to connect with and, you know, seeing moments of Morrow that we really liked, moments in Kirsch that we really liked, and I've even seen lots of moments in, you know, the different hybrids that I've liked. I definitely feel like there is something there. But in terms of, you know, Wendy, I'm going to keep calling her Wendy, embracing the leadership role, she does go back to the story of Peter Pan explaining to the hybrids how the story ends with her daughter coming back. And like, Wendy grows up. She has to stop being a child. And then things get passed on to her daughter. And then her having that moment with Curly, where all season long there's been nothing but jealousy from her. And she turns to her and says, "Call me Jane," because she wants to be that submissive character to Wendy and is willing to let Wendy lead them. And I think that's kind of what's taking the group as a Lost Boys into this now we rule. We have this more connected team dynamic, because most of the season Wendy's been off on her own and everyone else has had to learn things by themselves, but now they're a unit and they're really strong when they're together. And I think they're going to see that leaning on each other into the next season is going to ultimately help them as an entire group.
And it comes down to Wendy is a leader that empowers people around her. And where I think that Curly got a lot of that disappointment is Boy Kavalier has no interest in empowering you to empower you. If he empowers you, it's because it empowers himself type thing. And then realizing just how shitty of a person he is and coming to that realization where Wendy's just like, I try to tell you, fam, you know? So
yeah, I'm agreed.
So I think we saw like a really interesting dynamic change here with the hybrids that happened. You could maybe argue too fast, but I think that if you do enough hand waving, you can sort of see how slowly each of them, their mindsets sort of change. Like the last episode was a big step in maturity for both Slightly and Smee. That probably would, because like to see Smee go from being the happy-go-lucky character that he was to all of a sudden like, yeah, let's go crack some skulls. That was a lot like to take in one episode. But then when you really sit down and think about it, you're like, okay, well, kind of remember they saw an alien pop out of someone's chest. They realized the true dangers of this. And I'm curious because like a lot of the emotional stuff that they've gone through this season has been like a big change for them. It's been the emotional and the mental change for them throughout the season. I think that's the thing to always remember with them is that they are hybrids, not synths. They will have these changes, even though they were not designed to have changes. So my question to you guys is, do we see any changes going into season 2? Do we maybe see something where one of these hybrids is not willing to fall in line, or maybe they don't have the same goals in mind anymore as what we're seeing?
Absolutely. Definitely feel like that's all on the table in terms of options for them as a unit, as a team, as any team works through a goal together. There's not going to always be full agreement for everyone. And if everyone is directive focused, someone's goals may shift. I mean, I still feel like there is a level of tension between Smee and Slightly, because Slightly put Smee in a situation that caused him trauma, which is why he has now, as you put it, he's ready to crack skulls. Because that's the only way that you change is after being gone through a traumatic experience, and he definitely went through that. So I feel like there's some unresolved tension there, and it's going to continue to hairline fracture through their relationship as they try to grow as a unit. I definitely think that's still a possibility.
Yeah, and it's just I thank you for bringing that up, because I was going to bring that up, that I think that Smee, a lot of what's driving his anger is that he is this happy-go-lucky guy, and he was forced to do a bad thing. He's just not inherently like that. It almost reminds me of like Superman, except he can't like hold back from it. Like Superman would just be pissed if he got tricked into like hurting somebody, you know. And that's why I think Smee is. And we can't forget that there's still snakes in the grass, or I'd say rather they're in the cage. If anything, I think it's kind of ironic that we've seen them examine all these, both the synths, all the aliens in the cage, and now they're in the cage. But it's kind of the same thing here. It's just how long are they actually in that cage? Because they are young. Kirsch and Morrow together are super smart. You know, Boy Kavalier, he want to tell you how smart he is every 5 fucking seconds. So I don't think that it's out of the question that somebody's going to get manipulated, and then, you know, we see a reverse situation where they let the snakes out again.
Well, everything got out of the cages during this season, so it's natural that they're going to break out of the cage again next season.
Yeah. I do like the flip flop of it though. It's like you have the lab where on the Maginot where all the creatures escape, then they're caged up again. They slowly get out, and we finish with now our humans, and well, our humans, our synths, our cyborgs
people?
are all in
Do
the
we
cage.
call them people?
Them?
Yeah.
They. All of them.
Yeah. The non-hybrids. Guys, there's a lot of loose ends from this episode, a ton of loose ends, and I want to unpack each of those. Before we do, if you're watching this, please take a second to like this video. Comment with your theories for season 2 down below. Let us know if you even liked this finale of Alien Earth, how you felt about the series here, because we're going to be talking about Alien Earth the rest of the way here, but we also have a bunch of other shows that we have been watching, enjoying, and breaking down, like Peacemaker, Task. We're going to have It, Welcome to Derry, Landman, Fallout, Stranger Things, so many different TV shows that we're going to be covering for you guys. And what we're doing right now is we have a giveaway for you, okay? A $100 gift card for the best review that we get on Apple Podcasts, and then another $100 Amazon gift card for the best comment or theory that we get on either YouTube or Spotify podcast. So make sure you leave those comments and you could be in the running for a $100 Amazon gift card. Guys, the loose ends here, I think in many ways made this feel like it wasn't a finale for the show, but it does leave a lot of intrigue open for a second season. And I would say, what would you say, Jag, is the biggest loose end that is left open here at the end of the episode?
I mean, besides the fact that they kept people alive that they probably shouldn't, it's Weyland Yutani for me coming right now. And I don't, maybe they can download Sun Tzu's Art of War, download some battle tactics, like they have options. It's just, they need to be smart enough to reach those conclusions themselves. I will call her Marty, because she's not Marcie or Wendy. Yeah, Marty seems at least capable of getting there, and also she does have her brother who does have a, at least battle experience and has been in the shit there. But that's the biggest one. Then it's like we almost have the same thing in season 2 set up again, except the people are in the cages, where you're gonna have Weyland Yutani coming the entire time, and we have this cast and crew dealing with these caged up monsters, to bring it back to the title of the episode, and they don't know what they're doing.
That's interesting. Going back to the title of the episode, The Real Monsters. And it's funny because I think you're led to believe that now the hybrids are the real monsters, right? Especially with the way it ends. But then in reality, like, what would you have caged up? A monster, right?
All the people who manipulated you, they all manipulated them.
It's almost at a point where you start to ask, like, who's at fault here? Is it the creation that didn't ask to get created, right? Or is it the creators? Is it Frankenstein's monster, or is it Frankenstein? And
Deus Ex Machina.
Everything is Ghost in a Shell.
They
mentioned it. I wrote it down.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to all of that yet.
Yeah,
I mentioned it, man. They mentioned it. I wrote it down. She talks about just the ghost, and I was like, oh, they said the thing for Jack.
As soon as they said it, I paused and I was like, the guys are gonna go off on this tomorrow, and I can't wait to talk about it.
The guy. His name.
Yeah, this it's just me. Yeah, this was like when Guillermo del Toro made Pacific Rim, and he's like, "I've never seen anime." I'm like, "You fucking liar! You just made one, dog. You just like, there's no way that Noah Hawley made this show." And he's like, "I've never seen Ghost in the Shell." I'm like, "Okay, dude."
It was too on the nose. It was too on the nose. Yeah. What's so interesting about these loose ends here is that it's called Alien Earth, and I think that the Xenomorph itself is probably the least of the worries out of all the loose ends from this show.
It's a tool.
Like, if anything, it's sort of just here we go. It's sort of the Jurassic World. It's Blue and its baby running around in the final Jurassic World movie that or I guess not final, but whatever. Yeah, I totally forgot they did another one. The Xeno and the baby Xeno, like, just kind of seems pretty ancillary at this point. Like, the biggest thing that I have as the question mark is, I mean, we've got the Ocellus still, and how that has now taken over Arthur. I am very curious about that. I'm very curious because my question on this is, can it access memories? We haven't even seen if it can talk, but we do think that maybe it's learning, maybe it's picking things up. And I'm curious because this is still a dead body, and maybe it won't have all the same functions that it could out of a live body, but can it access memories and can it talk? Because I think that will be a very, very, could just imagine Slightly and Smee walking around the compound and they run into Arthur with the Ocellus inside. and he just starts like, that's just going to be a crazy visual.
I'd hope that we get exactly that, because they'll come back finding him exactly where they left him, or somewhere similar in terms of like, wait, we left you and you died. And
Well, homie pulled the
he's gonna
Michael
have
Myers. Like, he just stood right up. And just
yeah, well, he's gonna
started
have one
walking.
giant bulging eye, so it's gonna be pretty obvious which eye is
Yeah.
the monster in terms of it's inside him. But it is gonna be really fun to see the eye interacting with people, because when you think about what the alien is at its core, is an eyeball. It's watching, so it's learning. And I think at some point in the show, I think it was even Boy Kavalier that says, I want to know what you've seen. Like, we want to know, because this alien, we don't know when it was born, how long it's been alive, how long it's been inhabiting other people, things, other aliens. I feel like we're going to get that in season 2, because it's going to be inside Arthur, and whether or not Arthur can talk, to your point, as he's now inhabiting a dead person and probably going to jump into another body, what level of intelligence are we going to hear from it? I think that's kind of a big loose end that I can't wait to get. And I don't mind that I have to wait for it, because the reveal of Arthur sitting up was so perfect horror for me. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm excited to see it start talking.
I just think it's inevitable, and it's a matter of time. And I wonder if that eye eventually gets smarter at concealing itself, because one thing that not enough people are talking about is maybe Noah Hawley in some sense is trying to make The Thing canon in like the alien monster verse in here, because I wish there was more humans, and I know that some of them are coming, but essentially we can have like an Among Us type scenario if that alien's going to get smarter. I mean, it was able to knock out Pi with its hooves. We already saw that it can form speech by screaming when it was Schmiel. So like I'm sure it's only going to take a couple of Duolingo courses a second, and then it'll be able to go tell Boy Kavalier to go fuck off in earnest.
I think it's just like that. Boy Kavalier, I hope you go fuck off in earnest.
Yeah, it's like, I came all the way to say fuck you, find a new book, dog. Like, Jesus Christ, I've been in that sheep so long.
Is that maybe the least believable part about someone with extreme ADHD, is that he has hyper focused on this one book his entire life?
Absolutely not. That is real. I have comfort books I'm listening to right now. That's mine.
The same book for your entire life, and you base your entire life on that.
Buddy, have you not been to Harry Potter World? Like,
Harry
Potter.
But I'm talking about, like, they have a character who not inexplicably, it's explained, jumping from thing to thing to thing constantly, but the Peter Pan thing is like really stuck in there.
It's called hyper focus, dog. That ADHD, you're either not focused or you're hyper focused. That is like, there is no in between. That is 100%. Like when Kirsch says you have ADHD, I was like, and autism. I was like a little bit on there, because like Buddy's locked into Peter Pan. That is his special interest. Is like, you've seen Love on the Spectrum, dog. His special interest is Peter Pan. Is it weird? Yes, but like,
but it's his.
Is this a good time to, like, there's a lot to unpack by Boy Kavalier.
I mean,
I've got more to talk about defending
because
the island. There's so many things to talk about.
Yeah. Well, let's keep talking about the island, because I think we don't even know what's the biggest threat, because we're saying the eye is the biggest threat, really.
Yes. It's the most intelligent
hybrids.
To the hybrids. It is the most intelligent creature that is free. It knows exactly what those bugs can do. And it knows exactly what those scents are made out of. It's been watching Boy Kavalier and the central nervous system everywhere. It's without a doubt the most dangerous thing, because you got to think about, Homeboy can just post up, wait on Wayland Yutani to show up with some fucking boats. And there might already be knowing Kirsch, he probably like pulled up all their boats and shit, but he could just sit there and wait and do what Kirsch did, essentially, which is hang back and let shit happen and poke and prod in directions when he can. It's like, to me, it's it's always been the most dangerous,
Well, that, and I feel like the solve of Wayland Yutani on their way can get solved pretty quickly. We did see, Wendy stop the other synth by simply saying stop. We watched her haunt everyone across the facility, going into the technology, making everything go haywire, trapping people in elevators, trapping Madame Sylvia into all these videos. Her level of control on technology is huge, and we don't really have, it's boundless at this point. We don't know where that's going to end. Everyone from Weyland Yutani is coming in on vehicles and ships and air freight. She could easily go into any and all of their technology and just tank all of their vehicles. All of them can crash into the ocean. They're on an island. She can easily,
Do
once
they
they're
get
on their way.
Wi-Fi out there though? Like that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but she's in the network. She's floating around and everything. As soon as those things come in, it's like the Bluetooth has sensed another vehicle coming in, so it goes down as soon as it comes into her orbit. I can imagine her having a level of control of all Weyland Yutani that makes it not the biggest threat. To your point, Jagger, I think that the eye is still the biggest threat. I think that it's easy to control the humans because they rely so heavily on their technology, and that's where they've clearly been able to best them. That's where she's clearly been able to win. She doesn't know what the eye knows and what the eye's goals are. We still don't know what those are. And she's clearly connected with the xenomorphs in a way to utilize them as an additional tool. Again, in case any other humans do come onto the island, she can simply make a little noise and they will go after them. So I do feel like the eyeball is the biggest threat, and I'm not really that worried about Weyland Yutani. It's actually gonna be really fun to watch her take down an entire army with the snap of her fingers.
All right, I'm not really worried about them either. I basically just said that they do have guns and can be a problem. I actually think Weyland Yutani lets Morrow loose. Like that's what they're going to do. Is like I don't think there's going to be. I don't think they're going to bring in fucking Sigourney Weaver and come in and take out all that shit. I think they're going to bring in another team of incompetent Joes, basically a bunch of it's over, man. Like a bunch of them out there, and someone is gonna accidentally tumble and hit a button and let the actual threats loose, type thing. And like you said, Sam, they're just gonna get picked off one by one. So.
Yeah, that's the fun part about the Holy Lane franchise.
I'm worried that there's a little bit of an OP problem with a character like Marcie.
Like, you just gotta stay off the Wi-Fi, dude. That's it. Just stay off the Wi-Fi. She can't harm you.
Well, I mean, she was able to stop the synths. Like, I'm wondering how much of it, like even a cyborg like Morrow, if he has even the smallest bit of technology in him, can she control him?
Stop hitting yourself.
She's able to learn languages with the Xenomorph. Who's to say she can't learn a language with our Ocellus and be able to talk to it? Like we assume that Kavalier and the Ocellus are the smartest creatures in this show, but what if now Marcie is the smartest creature in the show?
She's the most capable of being, like, to me, she is the smartest as in capacity, but she's not there yet. It's the difference between there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
knowledge is knowing something, wisdom is knowing how to use that. And like that's where the key thing is. It's like, yeah, I can Google shit too.
But she's picking up fast. Like she went like from one episode of just like, oh, it's so cute, to hide and follow, talking to the Xeno. Like it was quick.
Clicks and whistles. Sam, what like I know you're practicing.
She's been practicing, folks. Let's hear it. So good.
Yeah, she just
good.
Sounded a little bit like I'm texting on an iPad, but that's
Yeah, right. Doing it all by myself at home.
Yeah,
just talking to my cat.
Yeah, definitely hear an accent in there, but you're working on it. I see you, fam.
We try.
So the reason I bring up the Marcie stuff and like what the extent of her powers could be, and I think of any character in this show, I think she is now the make or break of if this season 2 ends up being good, because so much of it revolves around her, even to the point that when she says, "Now we rule," Boy Kavalier has this very strange smile. He is excited that his creations have powered up like this, where it's like he can't even see beyond the imminent danger of being, caged up like that. He is just so excited to see what they're doing. We got to unpack Boy Kavalier, because even though I think not a lot actually happened in this episode, we learned a lot more about him and his history. And Jag, I know you wanted to talk on Boy Kavalier.
Yeah, and I'll just start exactly where you were at, where he seems to have like a full blue vein throbber for that. He's just
rager.
Yeah, he's so fucked up as a human being at this point that his delusion is it's almost difficult to comprehend, because he thinks to bring in the Deus Ex Machina. He's like, cool, I made God. That makes me Godder. And that's like, I'm even more God. And that's just not true. Even after all Wendy has done, he can't even comprehend it. To the fact that he put on like a bulletproof vest. I'm like, buddy, I don't think bullets are your problem at this point. It's just, and he's like skipping around like $1 million to the first man that finds me. What fucking man is alive? Where are you? And it all comes back to the big reveal that homeboy Adam is a synth, and it was there the whole time. I guess I ignored it because I didn't think he was that fucking insane and crazy to not surround himself with people. But the only two human beings that are in his facility work for him, and those are the two scientists. It's like he's
the mold
so
scrubbers.
Okay,
if they're human,
they're human, yeah. He's just so far removed from humanity, and I mean that literally and figuratively. It's just a lot, you know.
Yeah, it is interesting. We got so much more in terms of, his origin story, and even the way that Wendy said, you're just a man who was mad at his father. I mean, just in terms of levels of talking down and emasculating, I definitely feel like I was satisfied with how that interaction went in terms of knocking him down several pegs. I like that he got kicked in the face, and I like that she just talked down to him in a way that just completely removed, any level of self, until we got that maniacal cackle of like, what I created is so smart. Look at what I can do. I do feel like it's still going to be the crux of all of his issues in terms of, his ego is still there. It's not going away anytime soon. His inability to see the danger right in front of him, like you said, skipping through the halls, $1 million to whoever can, like, who cares, bro? The xenomorph is loose. It's the hubris. That's never going to go away for him, and he's never going to learn. It's going to be inherent until he does get, as you guys like to say, tongue punched in the face by one of these xenomorphs. Like, it's just going to continue to happen.
I'm honestly shocked, because like I have seen arrogance. I have seen I fucked around and found out. He has not found out. Like it's kind of astounding, and we'll unpack, I guess, some of this a little bit later, but it's a little bit, some of my biggest critiques on the show is just like, is he really that far removed? Like, or like, what's wrong with him beyond just being like ADHD and a genius? Like, he's like a true sociopath where he can't even feel worried about stuff. It's like, there's just so much wrong. He killed his dad. I don't know why I'm shocked now that I'm thinking about it out loud.
There are people, I mean, I'm not trying to say like there are people out there that are like this, but there are people that have very similar isms where they get the lesson, but they don't actually learn from the lesson, and they just keep doing it over and over and over.
You're making the same mistakes,
explaining it away, like, yeah, it's like the mental gymnastics where he's just like, oh well, I just need to do this, then it's fine. It's like, no, you've fucked up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a few of those people. I'm not going to say them here in the show. Yeah. I kind of, I'm teasing, but I really don't want to say it.
Don't do it.
I'm this close to dropping the name.
You're good. You're good. Sociopaths will sociopath. That's what we know.
I would say this, like, I wonder if maybe like we learn our lesson here with Adam of like a character that you're maybe overlooking that ends up being a bit more important. And I'm kind of looking at Joe Hermit like that going into the second season, of who else can actually speak to Marcie, get close to Marcie, and also empathize with the other people in the room that aren't hybrids. Like, I think he's sort of
Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was gonna say he's playing both sides to see like who comes out. But yeah, I think that there's going to be a shift potentially in season 2 where we're no longer looking at things through the viewpoint of Marcie, because she doesn't see herself as Marcie or Wendy or a kid or an adult or anything, or human for that matter. I think in season 2 we end up seeing a lot more of the viewpoint of Joe and the dangers of this all, where it's like it would feel pretty, spot on with a show like this where Joe is actually the one that has to kill Marcie, and he finds out a way to do that from the Ocellus or Morrow or one of these other characters that is highly intelligent.
I'm really surprised he survived the alien, to be honest. Like, granted, like Marty came in, but like
he handled that well.
Let's say
he put up a solid fight.
That was a full round. I felt like he put up in there. So like, I got to give him credit. I got an oddball question.
Okay.
What are statistics that you think that Boy Kavalier has touched a woman, a real woman? Not
when you say touched, you mean
intimacy with a woman. I mean,
you mean I'm gonna do the Scary Movie 3 where they grab the donut and the hot dog. Is that what we're?
That's what I'm talking
asking
about.
Okay.
Yeah. Has he like hugged a woman? I even take it a step back. Has he been on a date with a female and like had a conversation?
I'm gonna say no.
Like,
I'm gonna say
no.
all of these are no. The answer is no to every single one of them. I don't even think that stuff interests him in any way.
I agree. Zero interest.
Good luck for all the just, like no one, like statistically that's why he's a sociopath. This is he never mentioned a mom, and he has zero affection for women. That is like the number one gateway.
It would
drug.
be the most season 2 thing ever for the mom to show up out of nowhere.
Boy,
as like a special consultant for Wayland Yutani. Mom's not dead.
Yeah. It's like, I hate the man that you've become, boy. I don't...
Boy. We still don't know his actual name, right?
No. So Mrs. Kavalier is gonna come in.
His name's Gary.
His name is gonna be something dumb like Gary.
Owen.
Sorry,
he looks like
all the
Owen.
Garys out there watching.
Yeah.
It's Tyler, guys. Remember, it's like Tyler.
Yes. There we go.
And sorry to all the Tylers.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this episode of TV, I have to ask, was it disappointing? Was this a disappointing finale? Jag, I think you and I have similar thoughts on this. Sorry, go.
I was going to say it was disappointing in the sense that I wanted more, and I feel like they're going to set up for a big opener in season 1, and I would have rather have that or season 2, and I'd rather have that at the end of season 1, to where like if this show would get canceled, I'd feel like I'd have like some type of conclusion. And this whole like I gotta wait 2 seasons shit is just exhausting, but it's a good show. I'm not saying that the finale I've watched a lot of bad finales since we started this. This isn't one of them. It's just like we made like a food joke. It's like, man, I could have loved a lot more of this meal. You gave me like the Michelin star 3 fucking bites, and I kind of want that American buffet.
I want a healthy helping of potatoes and a giant portion of steak on top, because you just gave me a tiny little appetizer.
Yeah.
I get that.
Sam, I know you like this episode.
I did. She's always happy.
What made you enjoy this finale? Because I think a lot of people are going to look at it and say there's just a lot of loose ends. At least for me, like I can look at it and I'm saying this was a good episode of TV, but maybe not a good finale, because
there you go.
It almost seemed so intentional. This felt like a penultimate episode for Alien Earth. It felt like there was one more left where we can get closure on something. Because when I run through the checklist, I say, okay, we don't really have a closure on the Xenomorph. Maybe we don't need that. But we didn't really get a closure on the Ocellus. We didn't really get a closure on Kavalier, on Morrow, on Kirsch, on the Lost Boys, on Yutani, on Prodigy. We didn't get closure on anything. And I'm not saying we have to, but there seemed to be a lot of setup for more setup, and we never got the payoff. And I think that's something that is kind of plaguing TV nowadays, is we just keep doing the titillating thing where it's like, we're going to intrigue you long enough to take you on this journey, and then we'll see you in 3 years for Severance season 2. And you're just like, fuck. Okay. So what, and I know I kind of did the mean thing. Like I set you up here, but like, what was the thing that you really liked out of this that maybe Jag and I aren't seeing?
I think what I liked a lot about this episode was I felt a lot of callbacks to episode 1 and a lot of episodes to the setup of what we began this series with was what are the hybrids and what are they in this world? What do they mean in this world? And I feel like this episode called back to all of those original questions, and at least the characters in this episode are trying to answer those questions for themselves. Whether or not we feel like we got the full answer, they're working on their own answers. And that's how I feel there was a level of resolution in terms of Wendy becoming the leader again of this group of kids, which are now embracing that they are not kids. They are all understanding that there is a graveyard of their bodies and they are no longer them. They can be whatever they want to be in this direction, in this group. The level of unity between them, I think, was really strong, and watching them kind of all come into their own and making their own decisions in terms of how they went and addressed all of those that were messing with them all season. So Nibs going and grabbing Dame Sylvia, Smee and Slightly going after Morrow, as well as Kirsch in terms of those that have manipulated them. I think the regaining for them of control was really powerful in this episode. And yes, there's still a lot of loose ends I haven't talked about. The Xenomorph still, being out, but in control with Wendy, the Ocellus now walking around as Arthur. We did finally see the plant pod. I really wanted that one kill. I got what I wanted there. It was exactly what I hoped it would be, and very fun. We didn't really get a lot with the bugs or the flies, I should say, but I don't really feel like I missed that. We got so much of it in the other episode. I'm not really missing it. And then as far as the better understanding of Wendy with technology and just how advanced she is, I think sets it up really well for season 2, again, to continue to gain this power and this understanding for herself of who she is. So for me, I think there was a lot of really underlying things, which I understand we didn't get like this big giant show or giant showdown in terms of like a war or a battle. And I can understand why you'd want that. But I do feel like there was a certain level of resolution in terms of character arcs and story that I really enjoyed.
I have a theory. It just came to mind.
Let's hear it.
What if Wendy is like, or Marty, if you will, is the 2.0 of what we know as Mother? Like we see Earth getting taken over, and Mother in every other iteration of Alien is like God. And it's not even just the fact that there's like an actual Yutani at the top. Like, what if she takes over and becomes Mother? And like, that's why it's its whole obsession over xenomorphs. Like she's like a cat lady, but with like xenomorphs, and she keeps like sending people out. She's like, I really want my cats. And then like, they keep trying to bring them back.
So I think you're on the right track. I think it might be the wrong thread. I think that because Mother already exists right now in this universe, right?
But she takes it over.
That's why you said 2.0.
Yeah.
So okay. So I don't know that we have anything from any of the future Alien movies that like gives us that possibility, do we?
All it is Mother
directive. Yeah.
It's just this ominous thing that just says, "Give me pictures of aliens," right? And it's just J. Jonah Jameson.
Give me pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah, like that's all it is right now. It's like, and like she seems to be like really obsessed. She gives me horse or cat girl vibes with xenomorphs, and like she like takes over the fucking Mother system that rules Earth at that point, and becomes like this thing that just wants cats. Like that's my theory. She just wants cats.
that I'm in on. I'm in on that because I still I want to know how Earth ends up the way it does. And we don't ever see these hybrids again in anything alien based. We never hear of Prodigy ever again. And that's why I wonder either they are the fall of the Earth and that's why we really don't see them much anymore, or everything just gets taken care of on this island. And I do wonder how much of it is Yutani seeing how Marcie, whatever we want to call her right now, can control the xenomorphs by speaking to them, and maybe they decide they want to do something similar, which is why they are always after these xenomorphs and these creatures. Because can't really control the other ones, but then when there's a frequency that you can speak to the xenomorphs on this, that could be the whole thing that's leading to them sending all these crews to continuously keep looking for xenomorphs, because we don't see any of these other creatures later.
No.
So are you guys thinking that at some point Wendy
Like,
gets
enters
like
the
plugged
Matrix.
into gets plugged into, like, they just plug the back of her head into something, and then she is now the communications of Mother going out and sending spaceships to go and try and find more aliens. Is that kind of where you guys are landing?
Mhm.
Oh my god,
Like,
she's just been there the whole time. Like we get all the way to the final alien, what, resurrection?
mhm.
It's not that it was a
And
dream
it's
the whole time. She was never not there.
Yeah, she's like it was you the entire time, like just like the fucking space beam. It's like,
Yeah.
you
she
know?
just spins around in her Dr. Evil chair.
Yeah,
just
I've been
petting the
expecting
Xeno.
you. Do you have my cats? Xenomorphs are just space cats, guys.
Just space cats. You're not wrong.
Yeah, and they're purring. That's the sound.
Yeah. See, that's why Sam's into it. Like, she's like way into this. By the way, guys,
I have
Sam,
one cat. I have one
known cat lady, Samantha.
Oh no.
I'm kidding,
Get
Sam.
stuck.
You guys.
Leave me and my
What do you
cats
say
alone.
fuck me for?
Hey, I'm a
Don't
cat
judge
man.
me
I'm a
sitting
cat
at home
dad.
with my cats all by myself. It's just, this is the life I like to lead.
I am a single
Stop,
cat dad
Zeno.
right now. Like, Ash, where you at? It's like,
No cats in this house.
One thing I want to say, because you guys brought it up in terms of, like, we didn't get closure on Prodigy. Prodigy's done. I don't think that we're getting Prodigy again. I think we watched the downfall of Prodigy. And
Oh, for
it is
sure.
over.
Are there shareholders? I don't think so.
I don't think there
No.
are. No.
But like, I do kind of want, like, what's the fallout of it, right? Like, it's just because it's done and like the shareholders are leaving, like, what happens to all the things that are already established? Like, how does that, if it's one of the 5 big companies that rule the world, like, how does that just destroy or affect the economy? What happens on this Neverland research facility? Like, there's so much to it that I really want to see. And maybe they're setting themselves up for, I don't think they can even cover all that in a season 2. Like, it seems like they're really setting themselves up for like 3 or 4 seasons of this show.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm in it for the long haul. I mean, we're going to watch the
let's go.
the destabilization of another Southeast Asian country. You know, It's just time's a
by
flat
the way,
circle.
Koff really wanted us to say that the giant floral creature reminds him of the large butthole UFO from the movie Nope. So just want everyone to
You're good,
experience
bro.
that.
For like, you really got that in on the buzzer
Yeah.
beater. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I really wanted to. Just wanted to say it because Koff wanted it. I know he's listening, and he'd text us, motherfucking us if we didn't say it.
Yeah, he's got the RFK voice right now. And
Yeah.
he can't take Tylenol.
He took too much Tylenol and he's messed up. Guys, scale of 1 to 10. What would you rate Alien Earth season 1 after completing this?
8. 8.5. It was a good season of TV. Sam, you about to say 11, aren't you?
Sam's about to, yeah, she's gonna 10 it. I knew it.
Yeah.
10. It's a 10 for me. In terms of the entire season and everything that we got, this opened up the Alien universe for me in such a fun way. We got so many more things than just the Xenomorphs. I loved that the Xenomorph was a tool, a weapon in this. It wasn't the fixation of like, and now it's after this person, and now it's after this person. That would have been boring. That would have been tiring. We got so much more in terms of story here. So I'm very satisfied because I had very high expectations of what I wanted out of this series.
I think I'll probably be lowest. I'm gonna be at a 7.5. And I think
That's rare that I'm not the
Yeah.
lowest.
Yeah, I think this
Shocking.
was still a good. This was a very solid season of television. This was good TV, and I probably would have been higher had the finale not been so frustrating for me. That I really felt like this finale was a penultimate, and so that's why I'm going to give it the 7.5. So what are we at? 7.5, 8.5, and then a perfect 10 from Sam.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out what Koff gives this. But guys, this was
Koff is going to be probably a 9, I would
9.
guess.
Yeah.
I would
I'm gonna
guess.
say
Oh,
9.
let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
make the guesses. It's 9?
Yeah.
9 across the
Yeah,
board.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
it's 9.
Koff, if you're listening to this, text us. Text the group chat. Let us know. What do you give it? Guys, this was a good one, man. This is a good one. We're going to be not back again with this, but we're going to be back again with the other TV shows that we are currently watching right now. Peacemaker, Gen V, HBO's Task on Monday as well. We've got a lot of great TV shows that we're going to be focusing on here going forward. So if you've enjoyed our weekly breakdown of Alien Earth, make sure that you join us for all those other ones. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. Take a second to leave a review for us. It means so much to us as an independent podcast. That's what allows us to grow. Share this with your friends, family, anyone else that's watching these shows with you. Keep the conversation going. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, for Sam, we'll see you next time. Adios.